welcome back. Happy New Year. My name is Orit and welcome back to Orit's Kitchen. So I have my little cheat sheet here once again from my previous episode. I am still learning how to be able to talk to you guys without making any major mistakes. So today we're going to be making how to make Persian rice. So on my first episode, I made Ubkesh, and if you watch that, at the end I said you could pour Ubkesh on Persian white rice. Now you may be wondering, how do I make Persian rice? Today I'm going to teach you how. Okay? So I'm going to be going over how to use a rice cooker and how to make the rice on stovetop, and I'll show you the difference in when to make this and when to make that. So hopefully things will be a little bit easier for you. And again, I'm not a professional cook, so if I make some mistakes or I'm not very clear, sorry, and I'll try to correct myself as I go, or later on the bottom on the YouTube page, I'll have the corrections there for you. So let's get started. Right now I have boiling water here, okay? So you get that ready as you want to make your rice. And I'll show you why I'm going to do the boiling water. But first, you get that going, and then I have 4 cups of rice here. Here's the grain of rice. And as I pointed out on the previous episode, this is the rice that I use. There are different brands there. You could even get the one from Trader Joe's, but it might not taste as good as these brands that they have at a Middle Eastern supermarket. Okay? So what I'm going to do is rinse this off a couple of times to get the excess dirt out. Rinse it off like that. Dump the yucky water out. And again. You cleaned it up as much as you think you would like. Usually 2-3 times should be good enough. The more you wash it, you know, it's fine. Some rice that you may purchase, you may need to let it soak in water for about 30 minutes. That way it helps to cook faster. But the rice that I have, you don't need to do that. Once you rinse it off, you could just dump it in hot boiling water. Now the reason you put it in hot water is, one, it takes the starches out, so it makes it healthier, quote unquote healthier. Also, it's going to give it a fluffy texture, so you'll see what happens at the end. And when you want to put it in the rice cooker or stovetop, it cooks faster this way, and it becomes even more yummier this way as well. So now when you put the rice in the hot water, boiling water, you're going to be getting a half a cup of salt. Now you may not need as much, it depends on how much cup of rice you decide to pour. So I think that should be, I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to mix it up. Mix it up there. And so you have to be careful, like I said, with how much salt you put in here, because you don't want it to be too salty when you want to eat the rice. So pour as much as you think. Again, you can add some salt later on. It's not an issue. And then so it's going to take about 10 minutes for it to do its thing in the hot boiling water, and I'll show you what happens next as 10 minutes goes by. So just let it do its thing. Occasionally, I need you to stir it up, and just keep your eye on it. So we'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll show you what happens. Hi guys, so now about 10 minutes has gone by, and don't forget, again, you got to mix it up as within the 10 minutes here and there. And then now my rice is ready. It's a little hot, let me pour it in here. So this is how it looks like now. It's fluffier, you see, and bigger compared to what it was before, all grainy. And so now the rice is like this. And how do you know when it's ready for sure? You taste it. Put it in your mouth, and it has a soft texture. You can easily bite it. It's not hard, and it's ready to go. It's kind of like pasta, I guess. So now we're gonna drain it off with cool water, and you have to let it cool off like that. Get some cool water out of there. Pour the cool water on it. The cool water helps it prevent it from cooking further with the heat. This will stop that from cooking. But you don't want it super duper mushy, because when you cook it, then it'll just be it'll be mushy and you won't like the texture in your mouth. That's that. I'm just gonna let it cool off, and I'll be back in a few minutes to show you what we do next. Hey guys, so now my rice has somewhat cooled off, and now it's ready to go in the rice cooker. So I poured some of my rice in here. You can fit more rice if you'd like. This can fit up to about 5 to 6 cups, but I just filled up a little bit of it. And then you're gonna add some oil and some water and stuff in it, which I will show you how to do that over stovetop. So whatever I do on the stovetop, you can do exactly the same thing in the rice cooker. Now, the only difference is with the rice cooker, when you plug it in and want to turn it on, my rice cooker has number dials. It has numbers. It has the off button and then numbers 1 through 4. So when I turn on the rice cooker, I turn it on to all the way to dial number 4. I don't have it plugged in, but if I did, this light would be red, okay? And when I turn it on number 4, within an hour, you should, after you put the oil and the water and everything in there, within an hour, it should be ready, and you should have your crispy rice, which what we call tahdig. And usually within an hour, you have your crispy rice, nice and brown, just the way everybody likes it. And but over the stove top, it's a little bit different. Also, with the rice cookers, there are ones that have a color coordinated instead of number dials, and you would put them under the dark brown color. That way you know that your tahdig, your crispy rice, will be nice and golden brown the way you want it. Not burned, but golden brown. So that's the rice cooker. Now, come on over here. I'm going to be doing the stovetop. Now, you can make it crispy rice, just plain rice alone, or you can get regular potatoes, peel the skins off and slice them up and put them in your pot. And when you do that, you're going to add a pinch of, just a little bit of, like a pinch of turmeric, just like that. Okay, and you're going to be adding a little bit of salt. Now the turmeric gives a color and flavor as well as the salt. And then you're going to get your rice, put it in here, and you try to make it a mountain shape, the rice, like a hill. The reason is to help it to have a to cook it evenly amongst the whole entire thing in the pot. And we're going to also puncture some holes in it, and that hole also helps it to give it a nice even cook. And you want to make sure that the rice goes and covers the potatoes and everything around the edges so that it fully makes that crispy rice texture, and that you get a lot of it, a lot of the crispy rice, because at home my family loves tahdig, so I want to make sure that I get it just right. So you see, I made it into a mountain shape, and then I'm going to puncture some holes, get the end of a fork or spoon, whatever, make some holes like so, and then we're gonna get about 1/3 of oil. I use grapeseed oil by the company called Sadaf. You can get this at a Middle Eastern supermarket. Also, I also buy the grapeseed oil that they have at Costco. So either one would work. So I put about third of this. Again, be careful with the amount of oil, whatever your preference is. The oil helps make the rice nice and crispy. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to it. Okay, that's good enough. And then I'm going to add saffron. What is saffron? This is saffron. It's a nice reddish color and it has a nice bold flavor to it. You can get this at a Middle Eastern grocery store as well. And with saffron, I'm gonna pour it in here and mix it up with warm water. Just a third. Let's measure this out for you guys. Just about a third cup. Now this water that you pour will help it with the steaming. It has to steam up the rice, get it all nice and ready for you, nice and hot in there. Now, if you don't have saffron, that's not a big deal. You can just add just plain water in it instead. Now you see, it becomes like an orange reddish color, which is exactly what you want. Again, saffron will give your rice a nice flavor and it changes the color to a really nice orangey red color at the end. So it makes it all nice and pretty. And you just pour it. Now you don't need a lot of water, but you can add a little bit more, and I still have some saffron left at the end of it. So I don't want it to waste it, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then bam. And then you're good to go. You're gonna put it on high heat. And you're going to let it steam up, and when it's ready, when it's steamed up, you can lower the temperature to a medium heat or low heat. It depends on your stovetop. Every stovetop is different. If you have electric stovetop, it can vary. So when you make it a couple times, you'll be familiar with how your stovetop works, so that way you don't burn your rice. But I know how mine works. So I'm just gonna leave it at a medium heat and high heat for now, I'm sorry, until it steams up, and then I'm gonna lower it down. And it's gonna take about 20 to 25 minutes for it to get ready. And then if you want, you can then increase the temperature just a bit to get the crispy rice nice and golden brown. And I'll show you that in about 20 minutes. So we'll be right back. Thanks. Hey guys, so now it's been about 20-25 minutes, and then I also raised the heat up for another 5 to 10 minutes, and I just kept my eye on it, okay? And Gabby, if you can bring the camera a little forward, please. And I want you to take a nice look in here, okay? And around the corner, the edges, you see it became a little bit crispier, and colorful, and it gives such a nice smell. I wish you guys were here to smell this thing, okay? And there's the saffron, and it's nice and cooked, okay? This is how it looks like now when it's cooked. So let's go ahead and dump it out. Follow me here. So this is how it looks like mixed with the saffron. Again, if you don't have saffron, that's fine. Just pour that water in there and you'll just get, everything will just be white, okay? And so now I'm just gonna go ahead and hopefully it'll turn out good, and bam. So it got stuck in there, unfortunately. That's just the way it is with these pots, and no matter what, whether it gets non-stick or not, it can happen. But mine turned out pretty good. So let me explain to you again what we did, right? So we added the turmeric and we added the salt on the bottom of the potato. So that's how it has a nice golden color and a bit of an orange and yellow as well too. And then this part is the crispy rice, okay? And it should be pretty crispy. If you can even make it cook a little longer. As you can see, this here is a little darker than here, but you can cook it a bit more. But then you have to be careful you don't burn this thing out, okay? I'm satisfied with the way it looks like, especially if I'm just making it for my family, with my kids and my husband. This is great. So, and then again, this is the rice. It's not too squishy, it's perfect. Okay, now again, with the rice cooker, as I described earlier, the rice cooker takes 1 hour and it makes crispy rice. And you can also put potato, but I usually make crispy rice for that one and I don't have to worry about it. I know that the tahdig, the crispy rice, is gonna turn out pretty good. I usually use the rice cooker when I have guests over, and when it's just for my kids and I and my husband, I use the stovetop because it cooks faster and I'm not as worried with how the tahdig is gonna turn out. But you know, it turned out good. You just gotta keep your eye on it towards the end and just make sure that it's crispy around the edges, like I showed you in the pot. Okay, and that's it. You guys made your rice with Persian rice with crispy rice tahdig, and I also showed you how you guys to make potato crispy rice. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourself watching this and learned something from my show. And also my niece Gabby, who's behind the scenes here filming, she has a channel on YouTube herself, which is under Gabby Shirazi. She talks about fashion, she talks about places she goes to, and you know, if you have any teenager kids or nieces or nephews, they might be interested in watching her channel. So go ahead and look below and you'll see her link to how to go on her channel. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like my page. Have a good day.